All right, everybody. I didn't give any notice on this, and I know that's what you're supposed to do for social media, but that's not my style. My style is to just decide to get up and talk about something. And it dawned on me on President's Day, Trump Day, that the president got an amazing, rousing welcome back to Mar a Lago. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of people lined up, flags and so on, banner flying over. Thank you, President Trump. Meanwhile, Captain Demento got nothing. Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson, you're listening to the Kevin Jackson Network.com, where you can find out more about me and my team. Subscribe, do whatever it takes on this thing. I don't have all the bells and whistles. And in fact, I'm actually lucky to be on the internet because, according to Joe Captain Demento Biden, black people are too stupid to get on the internet. But I managed to do it because I got a couple of white boys over there that always help me out when I'm, struggling with technology. Oh, yeah, I know degrees in electrical engineering, computer science, and math don't help me. And nor does it help the multitude, the millions of other blacks who successfully get on the internet every single day. Oh, and we managed to vote too. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Democrats' albatross, aka Joey Fingers, the new royal family called the Bidens, that the Democrats now want to sell to us is the way things are. And I think I mentioned that on February 14th, Valentine's Day, Joe and Jill made their walk on the White House lawn to profess their love for one another and show America what real true love, I would call it demented Camelot, looks like. I wasn't impressed, but they want us to feel this way. I mentioned Joe Biden and his racist comment about black people and brown people not being able to get on the internet because we're too stupid. And the media doesn't cover it. They're coddling the new royal family. Well, let's look at the new royal family. The new royal family is Jill, Dr. Jill, the woman who's got such a big ego. She uses her education degree to call herself a doctor. It was all staged because she didn't want to just be an ordinary wife, the wife of a senator. She didn't want it to be Senator and Mrs. Biden. She needed to be Dr. Jill. That's how big her ego was. Hey, a stroke for the feminist movement. Woohoo! You got another doctor. Well, I read her work and it was fifth grader level. My son in the fifth grade wrote better than Dr. Jill. And Tucker Carlson completely parsed everything that she did. And what he showed was that she's an abject idiot, but got that ego going. And then it cracks me up, though. And I talked about this, I think, before, where I talked about the Democrats and their racism, the in-your-face racism, where they skipped over 4 black people. They skipped over an Asian. They skipped over a Latino. They skipped over a Pacific Islander. They skipped over a few of these people who were very youthful in their late 30s and early 40s. They skipped over multiple women. They skipped over a gay guy so they could choose a demented 78-year-old clown to put in the White House. That is the leader of the new royal family. A guy who they claim got 12 million, 13, whatever number, million more votes than Barack Obama in 2008, a guy who could fill 40,000, 50,000 foot stadiums. And they want us to believe the lie that this guy is more popular than that Barack Obama. That's their new royal family. So let's analyze him. A guy who's been in politics for more than 4 decades, closer to 5 decades. I can't even tell you the number of people who don't even live to the age that Joe Biden's been in politics. The black people who don't even live to be in their 40s because of the policies of Democrats. And this clown has been in politics for almost 5 decades. And you know what it is? A record of nothing. They could do a Seinfeld show about Joe Biden and his record of nothing. He's accomplished nothing. Worse than that, he's a racist par excellence. Go look it up. Go look at all the things this clown has said over and over about black people. And I talked about it in the previous video. But the point I'm making is this is the Democrats' new royal family, the one that they want to make demented Camelot. That's what I should have called this episode, Demented Camelot. Joe Biden and Jill are now the perfect love story. Remember when Al Gore kissed Tipper, that gave her that big juicy kiss on stage, the big staged kiss? And then they promptly divorced, and I think Al Gore went and married a polar bear or something. But do you remember that? When he did it, I said, that's a DC romance. That's a DC life. They want you to believe in the idea that these guys are just so in love. The same way they want you to believe that Joe Biden is so in love with America, and the Democrats are so in love with America. Well, I guess if leaving a couple $100 on the dresser to the prostitute is in love, then yeah, Democrats love America. Then they come back later and they beat up the prostitute and take her money because they're gonna get it for free. That's their love of America. So Camelot, Joe Biden, almost 5 decades in politics, pathological liar, can't tell the truth about anything. When Joe Biden says the truth of the matter, or he's got these little catchphrases that he says, whatever they are, he says one all the time, like that's a fact or whatever. Whenever Joe Biden uses the catchphrase, he's telling you up front he's a liar. This is the leader of the supposed leader of the free world. At least for the leftists, this is the leader of the free world. And he's a pathological liar. The Democrats can't even deny it. He says one thing, you go find out later it's a lie. I was top in my class. No, you weren't. You were in the bottom. I got in on a scholarship. No, you didn't. You were too stupid to get in on a scholarship. I'm smarter than you. I'll do this. Fine. You're not. I looked at your grades. You want to get into a push-up contest? Yeah. How many can you do? He does 3. Whatever he says, it's a pathological lie. He built the idea of who he is because he was screwing around on his wife. She decided she was going to commit suicide, runs into an 18-wheeler coming down the street, and ends up killing herself and the daughter, doing dramatic damage to the 2 boys, Bo and Hunter. And Joe says the trucker was drunk, which was a complete lie. And he stuck with the story. Joe Biden didn't even care that he was using a man's life as a prop for his little scenario. This is the leader of the Democrats party. This is their new royal family. I just want to paint you a picture of the royal family. This is the father of the royal family. Now, I'm not making a moral statement about what he's doing, is screwing around, but you're going to screw around and then cause your wife to go drive into a truck, then blame the trucker because your wife decides she's had enough of your shenanigans and she wants to commit suicide. Then you claim that the trucker was drunk and you ruin his reputation. That's the Joe Biden that you want, that the Democrats want to lead the nation. Then he hangs out with segregationists. Joe Biden is so stuck in the early part of his life, and his brain is stuck there. It's frozen there. He doesn't know how to behave. He doesn't see black people as real people. He sees us as props in his little game. And of course, he's a prop in a game. They're just moving Joe Biden any way they want because he's a clown. Now, that's Joe. Jill, while this is going on, she's the reason why Joe Biden's first wife wanted to drive into the traffic and get herself killed, because she was screwing around with Joe, who, by the way, Joe was hanging out with Jill's husband, acting like, hey, we're all cool together. Well, they weren't. He was messing around with the dude, his friend's wife. Document it. This is the dude. But let's move on. Joe's daughter at one point was a nymphomaniac because of he had a daughter, because of all the shenanigans that Joe was doing. She was so jacked up that she just was giving herself to anybody. And I mean, I'm not criticizing. I don't care what she does with her body, but the fact is Joe screwed her up. So Bo, the good son, he dies. Well, he wasn't that good. He was Joe's attack dog on anything that happened in Delaware as the attorney general. He was the attack dog. So he dies. Joe, again, Demented Camelot. Oh, Bo was amazing. He was so this, he was so that. He was a perfect kid. Yeah, well, compared to who? Compared to Hunter? Compared to crackhead Hunter? I just want to paint a picture of America's new royal family. Hunter Biden, kicked out of the military, the Navy Reserves because he's a cokehead, gets a DUI because he's driving under the influence of coke, gets in rehab, fails that. Dad picks him up and says, hey, look, dude, you got to get your act together. How's he get his act together? He marries his widow, the widow of his brother, screws around on her with a prostitute or a porn star or whatever she is. And again, power to the strippers, power to the porn stars, power to the prostitutes. But this is who Hunter Biden decides he's going to hang around with, ends up knocking her up, getting her pregnant, doesn't want to pay his child support. But daddy's got him gallivanting all around the world, doing crooked deals on behalf of the big guy, who we all know who that is. Hunter Biden has a laptop that he's left with somebody that's got all kinds of compromising stuff. He admits that he's in bed with the top Chinese spy. We know he took money from a Russian oligarch's wife, 3.5 million, and he's on the payroll of a Ukraine company that is under investigation. And they want to look for Donald Trump's shenanigans in Russia. This is the new royal family, folks. A daddy who's a philanderer and a liar, a pathological liar, who will say or do anything to get ahead. A wife who is an egomaniac, so much so she demands to be called Dr. Jill. People actually thought she had a medical degree. Whoopi Goldberg wanted her to be Surgeon General, and the woman can't write better than a fifth grader. Then Bo dies. I won't even get into him. You can go look him up for whatever shenanigans you want of him. But I promise you, his story is not nearly as fabled as they like to tell you. Then we've got Hunter, who undoubtedly, and look, I don't care. I got crackheads in my family. Lord help them. Lord help anybody that's got a chemical issue. Lord help people that have whatever addictions they may have, be it sexual, be it chemical, be it gambling, whatever your addiction is. I hope you can get help for it. But hey, I don't make it Camelot, but that's what the Bidens do. That's what the Democrats do. I want you to understand who is the new royal family in America. You know, like those Brits, their royal family. This is who you're dealing with. Do I really need to compare the royal family to who we had before? Donald Trump, never done a drug in his life, graduate of Wharton, gets a loan from his father, becomes a self-made billionaire, never been on the public dole. Oh, Kevin, he took loans from the government. He filed bankruptcy. He did what business people do. That's what business people do. That's what Bezos has done. Every mogul in life has had businesses go up and down. He's done no different, but they paint a picture of it. Donald Trump gets married, has a couple of kids. All his kids support him. All of them. They don't have crack habits. There's nothing you're going to point to with these kids. They looked up Don Jr.'s orifices with everything they could. Nothing going on there, right? His daughter loves him. All his kids come around him. Barron's probably going to end up being a stud himself. Who knows? But none of that. But we got Hunter, who is completely tied to illegal activities of Burisma. He's tied to Russian oligarchs. He's tied to the Chinese spy. And nobody wants to say a word because this is the new royal family. He's got a daughter that was a nymphomaniac. And again, I don't care what she does with herself, but I do care what the underlying reasons are for why she does what she does. Because see, a chick like that, daddy issues. Not mommy issues, daddy issues. Then we got Uncle Frank and the Biden brothers, who are as crooked as the day is long, involved in all kinds of things, again, in conjunction with Hunter, doing all these things around the globe as VP Biden was in power during this time. And this is who the Democrats now placed in the seat of power. You really think he's in control? Joe Biden has a meeting with Chairman Xi of China. Do you think that meeting is anything close to what that clown reported? Let me tell you what Xi told him. He laid out all the stuff he has on Hunter. He laid out all the stuff he's got on Frank and his other brother. He laid out all the stuff he's got on Joe. And he says, now you can go say what you want to America, but understand, I got you by your little tiny balls. That's what she said in that meeting with Joe Biden. And if you think any different, you are dead wrong. Our China policy will not be one of strength. China knows it. They've already been buzzing Taiwan, and he was talking about the captive group over. Joe Biden had a press conference about the Uyghurs or whatever, and he can do nothing. He is powerless. China is in control of this country with Joe Biden at the helm. So I applaud President Trump, who remains in control of this country, because despite what China thinks and despite what the Democrats believe about their new royal family, it is the 80 million plus Americans who really believe in the policies of Trump who are going to make a stand. And I don't know whether it's going to be a third party or whatever, but I'll tell you this, the Republicans are going to get the biggest skank slap of their lives, and so are the Democrats. Politics, as you know it, changed dramatically in 2020. And going forward, it will be very different. But here's what I will tell you. If the Democrats are proud of their new royal family, congratulations. Good for you, because it's really a statement of who you are. See, because there's nothing royal about them. Now, look, I can look back on the Bushes and all of them. They're all scoundrels. They're all snakes. I remember thinking how great the Romneys were. The fact that Mitt Romney been with his wife for 40 years, his kids didn't have any drugs or all that stuff. He would have been a great example of a family, how a family runs. He's an idiot, and we've certainly seen that. But compared to the Bidens, this is Jerry Springer. If you take Joe Biden out of the position that he's been in politically, you probably saw him on Springer, slugging it out with some, other baby mama that they need to be talking about. Lord knows Hunter would have been on there. But that is the Democrats' new royal family. I applaud you, Democrats. If that is the best you can do, congratulations to you clowns. Because you know what? There are much better representatives in this country of family than the Bidens. And by the way, this shows you what Democrats think of family. Oh, the Bidens, they all stick together. They're a family. Really? I would love to see what a bad family looks like in the Democrats if this is a good one. I'll leave it there.